which was not nonsense I don't think it's nonsense today, but certainly, for example, Newton was an avid believer in alchemy. I mean, Newton, as John Maynard Keynes, the economist who bought all of Newton's papers in 1934, that's how we know something about Newton. When Newton wrote to Robert Hooke wrote to Newton saying, "What are you doing these days?" And Newton said, "I do physics in my spare time," which was quite the case. What interested Newton was alchemy, how big the new city of Jerusalem should be to receive souls on Judgment Day, and so on. Newton was not the first modern physicist. He's been aptly described as the last magician. Alchemy was something that was considered seriously at one point. True, it dropped out for a long time, but I can't give you a course in history of science here, but in Germany, in Central Europe, very mystical forms of knowledge were going around called Naturphilosophie. And people, that's the way the first law of thermodynamics was discovered, as a matter of fact. And people, even with Helmholtz, you look at Hermann von Helmholtz's early papers, there's a little bit of mysticism and alchemy and that. And then finally Helmholtz declared that this stops, and we write scientific papers the way the public should view us. This is the problem, we solve it, then you make a prediction. So all that stuff was pushed out. But you look at these people's letters, and they were, more mystical than you would think. So I disagree with you that Jungian psychology is nonsense. It's still practiced today.
You have certainly read the book by Charles Enns.
Pardon me?
The book by Charles
Yes, I read
Enns.
that, yeah. Is Charles Enns here?
You can, no, he's not here.
Oh, that's not too bad, okay.
You can read in that book that Mrs. Pauli hasn't given out his dreams because she thought they were edited. Pauli had edited his dreams to please Mr. Jung.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
It's written in that book. You can read it.
Yeah, well, that things that are written in books are not always true. I don't see how we could do that anyway. But,
well, I remember a colloquium talk in Harvard, in Harvard, in December 1956.
and where? I'm sorry.
In Harvard, in the UK.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Rutherford Laboratory.
Yeah.
And speaker was Abdus Salam, chairman was Pauli. And Abdus Salam was talking about his two neutrino theory, which was violating parity. And at that time, just the first rumors became known of the CSU's experiment.
Yes.
So in the end, well, during the colloquium, Pauli had two basic oscillations during a colloquium, either like that or like that. If he went like that, speakers got very nervous, but he went like that.
Yeah.
So in the end, he got up and he apologized publicly that he had discouraged Abdus Salam to publish his two-component theory because he said parity could not be violated since Kant had already said it's against a priori ideas. So I think one question is that one should not believe too much in authorities, even if they are so famous as Pauli.
Yes. Right.
Nature is more imaginative even than the philosophers.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree.
Who was Professor Tice later. And he suffered, as far as I can know, psychologically for all his life.